Hi and welcome to the Shoe Rainer Drawing School, and I have a kind of an ongoing email thing going on with a young friend of mine called Mike in America, who's an art student, and he keeps asking for various bits of advice. And he asked me recently about criticism and all sorts of things like that. I think there's stuff going on in his head, and I think it goes on in a lot of teenagers' heads. I know it certainly went on in mine. I had a lot of problems as a teenager with stuff going on in my head. And what kind of advice can I give? Well, looking back now, I know that most of the stuff that I worried about as a teenager was complete nonsense and didn't need to be worried about. Mike was saying that he's worried about what he's going to have to do kind of in 2 years' time, because people on the course in 2 years' time are telling him the stuff that he's going to have to do then, and he doesn't know how he's going to be able to do it. And I said to him, don't worry about that. That's in the future. Anything could happen. You might change your course. You might do all sorts of different things. Worry about what you're doing today. That is the really most important thing. Forget about the future. It hasn't happened yet. And the great thing about the past is that it's gone. You can't do anything about it. Today is where you are at. If you do the work today, you work hard at it, and you do the best you can, then when tomorrow comes, and that problem comes that you're worried about, you will be ready for it. That's why you're doing what you do today. Does that make any kind of sense? If you do what you do today and you do it properly, you will be ready, you will be prepared, you will have all the answers when the problem comes. That's why you're learning, and that's how you learn. So there's a great book I read by a guy called Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers, and he has this fantastic theory, and I kind of really go with it. And he says that to be really, really good at something, you have to put 10,000 hours into it. And I'm not quite sure how many years that is, but it's about, 4 years or so. I could work it out. I'm not sure. You can work it out. You've got to put 10,000 hours into something to be really, really good at it. And I really think that's about true. Go and read the book. It's really interesting. And there's the one thing as a teenager you do have is time. And I can assure you, as you get older, time seems to compress. And as a teenager, you got all this time, and it's long, 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 and you can just spend all that time working on your skills, improving stuff. And just do everything. Draw, paint, make, sing, dance, play the guitar, learn instruments. Just do creative stuff. And because you might think at the moment you want to be a painter or something, but you might find you've actually got a much stronger talent as a songwriter, I don't know, whatever, something completely different. But if you just keep trying everything creative and don't pigeonhole yourself too early, just accept everything, have a go, and see what you think of it. And you might go, I didn't like that. Then you don't need to do it again. But be open to all kind of ideas and all different kind of art forms and things like that. And the thing that you maybe think at the moment that you want to be, maybe that is what you want to be, but all the other things will then come in and feed in. And I think to be a creative person, you need stuff coming in all the time to feed your imagination and your inspiration. So see, you've got time. That's a really good thing. Now, the other thing about being teenage years is sex and drugs and rock and roll. Okay, I spent most of my teenage years mooning over girls. I wasted so much time just daydreaming, and I was in love all the time. And I don't know, I suppose I learned something from it, but I don't know, I think I could have learned so many other things in the time I spent doing that. I think it's falling in love is just wonderful, and it's fantastic, and going out with girls, or if you're a girl going out with boys, is great and everything. But you do have quite a lot of time ahead, so you don't need to get too kind of intense. And probably, for the future, what is really probably more important is to really hone your skills, your life skills and everything else like that. I mean, if you found a fantastic person, and obviously, then you obviously click and go together, and then you should be kind of feeding in on each other and both growing. If you find you got girlfriends or boyfriends or something like that, and you're fighting all the time, get rid of them. You don't need to waste that time fighting and screaming and shouting with people. Just Just, you don't. That's true. Just finish. Get over it. Right, move on. The drugs and the rock and roll and stuff. I kind of spent a lot of time wanting to be a rock star. I would have been there on, Pop Idol and talent shows nowadays, Britain's Got Talent, all that kind of thing. I think you... Certainly the drugs and the drink and stuff like that, you don't need it, okay? You can convince yourself, I'm a creative person, I need to experience all this stuff, I need to enlighten my mind. You don't. All it does is it screws your mind up completely, and it just doesn't do anything for your creativity at all. You might do some weird pictures, but it really doesn't improve your creativity. You improve your creativity by learning stuff and being free and open to the experience and life, and using your brain, and that means training your brain and not clogging it up with drugs and drink, and that's just a waste of time. Go and have a drink at a party or something like that, but don't get too involved in that kind of stuff. What else can I tell you? Don't worry about what other people think. That is probably the hardest lesson you ever have to learn in life, right? And teenagers, I know you just spent the whole time worrying about what are people going to think about me? Oh dear. People don't think about you at all. You don't even enter their heads, okay? All the time you're thinking, if I wear this and if I do that, what will people think? They really don't care. They are far too busy worrying about what you will think of them, okay? So just be yourself and do what comes naturally. And if you can learn to be yourself, then everyone will just kind of accept you for what you are, and it kind of becomes a positive spiral. So what else can I tell you? I think that's kind of everything on my list. Failure. I can tell you about failure. There is no such thing as failure. Teenagers can get really obsessed with failure. There is no such thing as failure. Sometimes things don't work out, okay? But if you never had a go in the first place, it would never have not worked out. And you will only learn stuff by having a go. That's my phone doing something funny. You will only learn stuff by having a go, okay? And sometimes you will do brilliantly, and sometimes you will not. If you don't do so well, you have not failed. Get that completely out of your head. What you have done is you have achieved knowledge, okay? You have done something really positive. You've done something, you've had a go, it didn't work out. You know next time either not to do it, or next time you know how to get it right. So you have learned. It is a positive learning experience. Failure is a positive learning experience. So don't get hung up and depressed about failure. There is absolutely no reason. As soon as something maybe doesn't work out, sit down, analyze it, say, this is what I've learned. I don't want to do it again, or maybe if I do it again, this is what I would do. Finish. Move on. Don't start worrying about it. Don't start, getting all depressed and making yourself go down into the depths. Ooh. I know, I've done that all my life. It's been really hard. I kind of learned over the years to accept what other people call as failure as really positive learning experiences. So that's kind of all I can say for the moment. How are we doing in time? I'm not quite sure. 8 minutes or something like that. So other than that, all I can say is just keep working. Practice your skills. And good luck. Good luck in all you want to do, because you are living at the most exciting time of your life. I know it's all crazy and you've got hormones popping off all over the place, but you'll look back on it, and if you really go for stuff and do stuff now, you will look back on this time of your life and think, wow, that was great. Okay, so don't mope around, do stuff. That's my advice. And then maybe you'll grow up to be a sad old git like me. And in the meantime, if you've enjoyed watching this, keep watching the Shoe Rainer Drawing channel on YouTube, and practice. And I'll see you next time. Bye.